All right, so Google Classroom is actually pretty simple to use once you kind of get the hang of it here. So just a couple things about it before we start. Just kind of go over the basics of Google Classroom. So you can use it pretty much from any account. The easiest way to do it, especially if you are an educator, is to get your school signed up with G Suite for Education. Basically, it's an organization version of Google. So if you ever see like you have a username at yourorganization.com, that is kind of a similar thing. A lot of businesses use it, but your education can have it as well. So how that is going to work, and I think the simplest way to manage it then your organization would get that G Suite for Education, and then from there you would basically assign every student an email address based on your organization. Now, your school will have full access of those email addresses. So if you don't want them to receive emails through it, you can shut that off and they just use it for login purposes. You can monitor and limit kind of the emails that they receive. So you do have full control over that. A couple cool things with the Google Classroom right now is Google is actually offering premium versions of Google Meet for teachers and students that are working from home right now. So what that means for you is it has up to 250 students, and you can have up to 250 people in there. And you can live stream, you can do recording. So if you need to record a class because you don't want to do it live, or it's just easier that way for your students to just view it, you can use Google Meet to record that. If you do want to do it live and do a live classroom, you can use Google Meet. So it's pretty cool that they're extending those services to the teachers and students working from home. Another cool thing about Google Classroom that I just want to jump in right here, because it's just a short notice, parents can actually see what their kids are doing. They get reports if you have that setting selected, where they'll get email notifications if their students missing homework or just grade updates. So that's kind of cool if parents want to be involved, and that's completely their choice as well. They don't have to approve that. So those were the couple like really cool things that I thought. So once you log into Google Classroom, I've got two accounts up here. I've got my admin account, so my teacher account, and then I have a student account, which is just two of my work emails. Your teacher account works pretty simply. Once you log in, it will ask you if you're a student or a teacher. So obviously, if you're the teacher, you'd select that you're a teacher. So the businesses that teach classes get the premium. I believe, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'm not sure what the conditions are when it comes to businesses versus education. That's definitely something you can most likely reach out to Google for and just kind of ask them. Because if you still teach classes, I think it would be beneficial if they still allow you to use that premium discount. So I would just shoot them a message and ask them on that one. That's a good question, though. That's definitely something I'll look into. So for Google Classroom, right over here where the three lines are is going to be kind of your main menu. So the screen we're on is classes. You'll have a calendar as well. So if you set up any assignments or anything like that that needs a due date, you'll do that right in there. You have your archived classes and then your settings. So we're going to go, just because I already have them done, I'm going to redo an archived classes. So when you make new classes, you can't actually delete them. It will archive them. The nice thing about that is if you do want to reuse that class, you can just pop back in and you can restore it. It will open it right up. And now if we go back to classes here, you'll see there's the World History 3 again. So that's pretty handy. So what a created class looks like is you click into it, and then this is what a already created class looks like. So your class code is right here, and we'll go through a brand new one as well too. Your class code is here. This is what the students are going to use to get into that class. So we can also display it larger if you want to copy and paste it and shoot it in an email to the kids. The other thing you have is that Meet link. So we talked about how they're kind of opening up some premium stuff. So you can generate a Meet link, which will, let's click it here. It will make you a link that you can copy and send to your students, and that's where their classroom will be for this class. You should be able to also do independent ones. So if you have just a couple different types of classes that you want to do in the same subject, you should be able, you'll just have to generate them separately by going to meet.google.com. If we go down here, you can see where I've already uploaded an assignment here. So you can click the image, super small, I know, there we go, and go through. So I made this just like a basic syllable or syllabus. So you just kind of go through this. The students can see this as well. So really quickly, if I just jump over here, we'll go through the student side as well, but the students can also click and view that. And then you can also edit. Now, if you have your settings set up, the class can comment on stuff, or you can comment and be like, don't forget to read this. And then send it. It will add to this. And if we refresh the student page, it adds it right there. One other thing you can do is you can select your theme. So if you want to do your own theme or just like a basic theme, you can definitely jump in there. So we could change it to that one since it's world history, and it will just kind of change the banner a little bit of a look, or like I had, you can upload your own photo as well. We're going to create a new class, and then we'll just kind of go through the rest of the settings there. So up here, your little plus sign, you're going to create class. If you were a student, you would do join class, and that's where they would add in that code, which we should be able to do in just a second. So we are going to do intro to Korean. You can make a section, you can make a subject, and then if you want to put it in a specific room, like you want to put room 2B, because there's also a in-person classroom, you can do that too, if you're just using the online as a secondary thing. So obviously we have the intro to Korean here. You can select your theme again, kind of do whatever you want here. We'll just do some writing. Select your theme. And then again, there is your class code that you would give to the students. I'm going to copy that quick and put it in a different document that I have, just so we can use it later. So now we don't have anything going on in this one. So it tells you right here kind of what you can do. You can create and schedule announcements, respond to student posts, and obviously share something. So you can choose which class you want to put it in, if you want all students, or since I only have one student, that's the only option it's giving me. Otherwise, you can go through and just select different students, specific students. So up here, you see the 4 tabs. You'll have stream, classwork, people, and grades. Your stream is kind of your main page. It works very similar to like a social media, like kind of a Facebook look, where you can post something and then students can comment. You can limit who can comment. So if you don't want your students to comment on anything at all and you just want your updates to be there, you can do that. If you want students to only reply to your messages and they can't create new posts, you can do that. Or if you want your students to have full access so they can communicate with each other and they can talk with each other, help each other out, you can do that as well. So that's pretty handy. If we go over to classwork here, actually, let's go to people first. So we have our teachers, which you can add more teachers if you'd like, just enter in their email if there's a couple of you that teach. And then you have students. So it says right here, invite students or give them the class code. So if you hit the little plus person, you can type in the student's email. If it's a specific student you need to add, maybe somebody joined mid-semester or something like that, you can go ahead and add them or send out that link. We will just go ahead and add the student quick, and then I can show you the link later. So now the student is invited, so they would have to go to their email, and I just got my pop-up for it. So you can see, and then in the email, there's just a button that says join. So I already have that. So then if we go to Classwork, because that's pretty much it for people, it's pretty simple. If you go to Classwork, assign your classwork here. And the thing I like about Google, as you can see, is it kind of like tells you how to do it, which is really nice. So you can create assignments and questions, use topics to organize classwork into modules or units, and order the way you want your students to see it. You also have up here your Google Meet, Google Calendar, and a class drive folder. So you can also create a Google Drive folder and link it to your class. So if the students want an easier way to go through the files, that's really nice there. So if you go to create, let's create material here. So this one, we are going to do the syllabus, which I totally spelled wrong. That's okay. Description, please read over for classwork. Now we can add or create a document. Going to create will link you to your other Google programs. So docs, slides, sheets, drawings, or forms. I'm going to add, and you can add from your Google Drive, a link, a file, or YouTube. So I'm gonna link a file. And I am gonna go to documents and upload the syllabus. So now I have that uploaded. Now again, you can enter which class it's gonna go in, which is kind of nice because if you're in one classroom and you don't really realize and you're like, oh shoot, this is supposed to go to a different classroom, you have all these options here to just switch it over. All students again, or you can select the one. And then if you have different topics, you can create a topic that's going to essentially kind of group it. So again, syllabus, and then you can either post it, schedule it, save it as a draft, or discard it if you don't need it anymore. We're gonna go ahead and just post it. So then you see it posted here. It's under a tab called syllabus. So you can just go ahead and open it up. We already did the classwork. If we go over to our main page, you see right here now that it says posted a new material. So you can go through there. This is just edit or copy. So if you need to edit anything, that's where you can comment here as well if you click it. Next would be, if we go back to classwork, we are going to create an assignment. Now, if you do a quiz assignment, it usually links to Google Forms. So you'll just go there and kind of create your assignment there. If you just want to upload one, like we did the other one, we are going to do, we'll just do work one, make it simple. Yeah, you want to see the templates for the art again? Is that what you're asking there? Because you can see it on that page. Otherwise, you can just go find your own banner or make your own banner on Google and use that as well. But I can go back and look at those templates again. For instructions, we'll do please complete by, let's do next Friday. So we'll do Friday. I don't even know what next Friday is, the 7th. Friday, August 7th. Now we're gonna add again, or you can create. Oh, if you were teaching art subjects. So art subjects, we'll go over that in just a second here. Again, we're gonna upload, browse, and then I have the worksheet here. So now, since this one's an assignment, You can either ungrade it or select how many points it's going to be worth. You can do your due date. So I said by the 7th. You can do a time as well. So if you want it in by midnight, 11:59 p.m., let's do that. And then again, we can do topics. So we'll create a new topic and just put worksheets. And then you can do rubrics as well and check plagiarism. And then if you click learn more there, it'll kind of just walk you through that. So now again, you can go assign, schedule, save, or discard. We are going to just assign it. Once again, it will show up here. Work 1. And then there's your worksheet. And then you'll see here it's 0 turned in, 0 assigned at the moment. So if we go in, let me make sure it added. There it is. So you'll see Intro to Korean on the students page there. So if we go into the students page quick, it has the join or decline. So obviously we're going to want to join it. It's going to think for a little bit. And now you can see where I've posted the syllabus and where I've posted the assignment as well. So real quick, if you're doing artwork, now you can see where it says that there's one assigned. Whoops, I'm going to drag and drop stuff. And all I did there on accident was just slid it down into the syllabus topic. So with artwork and stuff, if you are running an art class, so obviously you're going to have to assign students projects to work on. And what they can do then, since it's not really something that you can like scan or anything, the easiest way I think would either be, and it's not going to be 100% accurate in like your coloring and stuff because it depends on their system, but either taking a photo of it in good lighting with their phone and uploading that picture, or, and you can have them do it from different angles and stuff as well. So if you kind of want to see different angles to maybe pick out spots they might not have done as well, stuff like that, so that you can give proper feedback. Otherwise, you can also have them actually upload a YouTube video. So if you want them to make a video of it, they can upload it to a YouTube account, which they can make private as well, so that it doesn't show publicly. It'll only show what videos they post, and if you have a link to it, which you can easily get by them uploading it. Like, so if I go in here quick, I'm going to do this. I'm going to save this. We're going to pretend that I filled it out. And then we are going to your work, so you can mark it as done, or you can add or create. So this is how they would upload as well. If they upload a file, they should be able to upload a video file. So from there, they would just have their video recorded. Is there a template like you had to choose from for your intro? Is there a template? So for that, I just want to make sure I'm understanding it right. Do you mean like this top banner right here? Because if you are, there should be arts. So you can kind of go through and select one of those templates, the themes. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding you. Yep, so you can do arts right here. So if you want to pick a couple art ones, there's also math and science, sports, and other. And again, if you have your own you want to upload, you can do that as well. So if you go through, you can see a couple different ones here. English and history, which we were kind of at, and then general ones if you don't have a specific topic you want to do. So yeah, with that, and again, you can upload your own photo and then just select your own photo that you want to use. Otherwise, we were kind of going through the student one quick. Add or create, file. I can upload the worksheet here. So we're pretending that I filled everything out and I did everything. Now you can hit turn in as the student. So attachment will be submitted for work 1 to like my own gallery or the template gallery. The template gallery. So if you go, we're going to start back at our classroom. So if you're in your classroom, you click on your class that you want to edit. On the banner up here, there's actually just a button that says select theme. So when you select your theme, that's going to open up this gallery. And then from there, you can select your theme, or right under that is where that says upload photo. So that's where you can get to those.
Joe, can I get you back to the tech help desk, please?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll go over it one more time for you. So in your classroom, go into your class. This banner up here, if you go into this lower left corner, it's kind of small, so it's a little hard to see. It'll say select theme right down there, kind of where my little finger pointer is. So if you click that, that's where it uploads all the different themes there. And then you just select the one you want. So if you did want an art one, let's say a painting class, you just click the one that you want and select class theme, and then it'll change it right up here. So from there, yep. Okay, perfect. So now the student has turned in your worksheet. And they can add private comments too to it, so that will go only to you. Like let's say they were an hour late. They're like, hey, sorry, I got this in as soon as I could. Go back to your teacher page. It'll be less confusing when you're only running one account and not trying to do both. So if you go to Classwork, so now you see that there's one turned in. So you can view the assignment. You can, it'll list all of the assignments right here. So all the students will upload their stuff and they'll all be listed down here. So we're going to click on the worksheet. And again, we're going to completely pretend that I filled this out. So from there, you can give them a grade. Let's say I missed a few and it's only 90%. You can add private comments again and just be like, hey, messed up on number 23, 35, and 44. So you can add that in, or maybe they just kind of got a couple small things wrong. You can be like, hey, look over those ones, study those ones. So once that is done, if the student needs to go back and work on it, like let's say you're sending it back to the student because it wasn't, excuse me, I have the hiccups now, completed correctly, you can return it to the student. So, or you can, after you make your comments, just put look over again. So you have to have some sort of comment in there. When you comment, you can either just post it or you can return it. If you just post it, it's done. They got their 90 out of 100%, that's it. If you return it, so we are just gonna do a return because that one's a little different. You'll return it to the student, and then from there, they will see that it was returned. See, it comes up and it says resubmit. So they would have to go back, make their edits, upload it again like they did before, and then they will add resubmit. Once it's resubmitted, it gives you turned in again. So you are going to click it again. Let's say they fixed everything, all's good, they got 100% because you're a nice teacher. Be like, good, whoops, there we go. Good job. And then just post it. Again, that one doesn't return it to the student. So now it's done, it's graded, They are all good. Go back to your main page here. You'll see it's just turned in. It's just there. They got 100%. You can see that all on the side over here. If you need to select anything again, you can go back and be like, whoops, I accidentally accepted it. Please return. And then if you go back to your class up on the top here, if you go over to grades, now let's say they've done a couple assignments, you just need to see what the grades are. You can see right down here, they got 100 out of 100. They are all good. Again, you can return it or you can just view it. So that's all good there. So this just edits that first one. Saving, thinking, all of their grades will pull up here, and then you'll see that there's a class average as well. So if you ever need that information pulled, it shows right there. You can sort by first or last name. So if you need a specific student, you can go through and find their work as well. And then that's about it for like the uploading and stuff like that. You can reuse a post as well. So if you need to go back and be like, hey, the syllabus got buried, here it is again. Or the work one got buried, we need to do it again. Now, we went over classwork, we uploaded those worksheets, the syllabus, all of your topics will show up on the side here. So if you added chapter 2 and then put all their worksheets under chapter 2, that's the kind of stuff that would go there. So now actually quick, we're going to jump back to the calendar now that we have something on it. So now your students and you will both see that there is an assignment due on Friday. So anything that you put in here, even if it's not just an assignment, let's say you recorded a class, then you go ahead and put it there, or whatever date you assign it, just like you did uploading the assignment. But instead of assignment, you would click like YouTube video. I'm pretty sure it gave a YouTube link. Let me double check. Classwork, create. It would be material. And then from there, you can add a YouTube video, or if you just recorded it and want to upload the file because you don't want to use YouTube, that's entirely up to you. And again, down here for teaching, you can just skip. I was going the long way by going back to classes and then clicking in, but you can just skip right here as well and just kind of jump to whichever classroom you need. So now I can go back to world history, see the stuff there. Archived classes. So like I said, once you are done with a class, let's say that class is done, you don't want the students to see it anymore, you would go to your main classroom page and then click the 3 little dots up here in this corner. It's right above this flag in this picture. If you click those, it says move, edit, copy, and archive. Edit would just let you change the settings that you did when you originally started it. Copy would make a second version of that class. Move would adjust it towards the front, towards the back, wherever you want it to be. And then archive. Now this says classes can't be updated. So that just means that you can't edit the class anymore, but it doesn't delete the class. So now if we go back up to the 3 lines, we go down to archived classes. Now you will see, I did an original one. Now you'll see World History 3 that we just put down there. So it'll still let you see the assignments and stuff, but we can't go in and like do any editing for it. We can just view it. Now, as you can see down here, classes archived, restore it to add or edit anything. So if you need to restore it for any reason, you just click restore. And then you can start assigning projects again, doing different things like that. That's probably the most useful for if it's a class that you don't have the students commenting on anything, or if it's a program that's just specifically files. Let's say you just have resources updated, you can keep it in a classroom and just let them view that. And then let's say that semester's over, you don't have that class till next year, you can just close it out and start it over again. So archived classes is pretty simple. Not a whole lot you can do there. These 2 little guys down here real quick, this is open folder in the Google Drive. So again, if you make a separate Google Drive that has just the files uploaded to it, you can go ahead and link that or view it. And then open Gradebook. So if you open Gradebook, it's going to take you straight to the grades page there. And then the last thing I wanted to go through here is your settings real quick. Obviously, that's just your main profile. You can change your picture. The students will have access to that too. So if you want to get to know their faces as well as their names, you can go ahead and just tell them, hey, you need to upload a picture so that I can get to know you. So you have your notifications. So you can do email. So when a student submits something, it'll send you an email. Or if they comment or anything. And here, like I mentioned before, is where you can edit their comments. So they can comment on your post. You can shut that off or turn that on. Comments that mention you. So you can edit that so that if they tag you in anything, it'll give you the notifications on that. And then private comments on work. So that's where we did when they were turning in the assignment and they did the private comments on the side. Like where I told them that they missed a couple things and they need to go back and look at it. That's where you can do that right there. And then classes you teach, late submissions of student work, resubmissions, invitations to co-teach classes. So if you need to add a teacher, scheduled post published or failed. So if you're scheduling a post for a future time, let's say Tuesday, we need to make something, make a assignment go live and you just want to schedule it so you don't have to think about it during the weekend. You can schedule the post and this will send you a notification whether or not it was published or if it failed for some reason. And then class notifications, same thing. This will turn on email and mobile notifications for the entire class. So if we don't want the students to get notifications, you would just make sure that's grayed out. If you do want them to get notifications, you can do it that way. You have your to review folder here. This will show all of your classes. So you'll just go through and it'll have all your stuff and be like, okay, I need to go through and see A, B, or C. And reviewed, same thing. Once you are, you've looked at their stuff and it's approved, it's reviewed, you graded it, it'll show up there. So that's pretty much it. Honestly, the student side works essentially the same way, just with not as many features. You'll see the grades aren't up here, of course. They don't have access to create a assignment or classwork, but they can view the other ones. They have the link to Google Calendar and the class drive folder. They can go in, we kind of messed with this a little bit. They can view the assignment and everything, turn it in. They'll have their topics down here on the side as well. And then people will just let them see which teachers are teaching this class and which students. So if they need to reach out to a specific student, they'll get the access to that and then they can email the student and get their email address. That's really about it. These two up here, if you're not familiar with Google, this is just your actual Google account. So this isn't just your classroom, this is your full Google. And then these guys are your different Google apps. So you can go over to Calendar, Doc, Sheets, Slides, whichever ones of those you want to use. Outside of that, that's honestly about it with Google Classroom. It's a pretty simple program to use. It's mainly just for the assignments and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of other stuff you can do, but I think the fact that they added in that YouTube video function is really neat because then you don't have to be live every time. You can just kind of record your stuff and then sit back for a little bit, relax. Yeah, we did the invite, but on the invite real quick, because I didn't go over that, you'll see join a class if you're the student. So let's say the teacher didn't send an actual invite, they just sent you the code. That's where you would go over and do your class code. Copy that. I don't remember if I copied anything else. And then go in and paste and join. And now it brings up that class for the student. So it's pretty simple. If you have any other questions, now's the time to ask them. a couple last minute things too while we're just seeing if you have any other questions. The Google Teacher Center, if you just Google that, it gives a lot of good resources for teachers, a little bit of update of how to use it, if there's new updates, maybe they added something. That's a really cool place to just kind of look through. And then any of the videos that we record will be posted to our YouTube. So if you do ever need to go back to this, it'll be up there. In that too, I should be able to add in, I kind of want to add in a couple links for you with just some educational resources and stuff like that. So if you need a little bit more in depth, like you have a question that I wasn't able to do today, you can definitely go back and look at some of those resources that I'll put. Is there a source to what equipment you need? So honestly, the equipment isn't very needy. If you are recording videos as the teacher and you need something that's got some pretty decent quality to it, I would recommend looking into a webcam. Usually it doesn't need to be anything too nice, like any of the Logitech webcams from like Best Buy usually work. Something in HD would make sure that it's the best quality right now. Anything higher than that you don't need. And then a microphone. I'm using right now what's called the Blue Yeti Nano. It's, I don't know the actual price on it. I can actually look that up real quick. But it's a nice, simple little microphone. I think it picks up really well. I use the standard version of it at home. Computer wise, I'm running a pretty standard laptop. It was nothing crazy. And it runs, as you can see, pretty well. So, I mean, honestly, as long as they have a computer of some sort, a lot of this, besides like actually working on the assignments, they should be able to do, like, even if they just need to use their phone for it. Because I know right now, none of us really planned to be at home. So if they do need to use a computer to just look at their assignments, maybe finish them, obviously we are here. DoSpace is here. They can come in and use our computers with a reservation. So they'll have access to a computer then if they need one. As for going back to the Yeti really quick, the Yeti Nano is $100. It's just a little bit better of a microphone than something like your standard computer would have. You could also do a headset that has a microphone built in as well. They're just usually not quite as good of a quality. So yeah, those are the couple things that I recommend. Like I said, your internet's probably the most important thing. At least on the teacher side, since you'll probably doing most of the recording if you do, or the live streams. Just making sure that your internet can live up to that. Honestly, you just have to run some tests. If it's a little laggy or it drops, you could just call your internet provider. What about lighting? So a lot of house lights, in my experience, have kind of a yellow tone to them. So obviously that would usually darken things a little bit. What you can do is either just get, like I have one of the lamps with a white light in it that sits on my desk. So you could do something like that. That's the usual inexpensive way. Just make sure you have a white light bulb and decent lighting. You can use natural lighting as well. So opening some windows up. Or they do make something called ring lights. If you're not doing anything that involves you to be stepping back, you're just going to sit in front of your computer and teach. They make something called ring lights, which are circular lights that usually sit behind your computer. And they're bright, they're white, they make colors look really good. I think last I checked, Best Buy has a couple different price ranges of them that run pretty decent. So you could always look into those as well. But like I said, I use just a lamp with a white, like the bigger spotlight kind of looking lights, light bulbs. So that one works pretty well. You get pretty good light on that one. So those are just the couple things for the equipment. The webcam, if you're using like a laptop webcam, those usually aren't quite the best quality. So like I said, checking on a webcam from Best Buy or Nebraska Furniture Mart, a pretty decent one will run you probably $50. So that's something that personally I would look into that more than anything. If you get a little bit nicer of a webcam, they can pick up light better. So you won't need to do as much with the lighting. But if you get a little bit lower one, then it really needs a lot of light to work well anyway. So if you're using your phone like to record, if you're doing that, they do make mounts or like tripods that you can get. Again, Best Buy, Amazon, they have them too. And those usually run pretty cheap. I think I got mine for like $20. So that just sits on a desk, you put your phone in it, and you can record your video from there. If you need to transfer that video, there are two ways that you can get it into your classroom. The first way would be to upload it as a file like we did with any of the other ones. I would do that from your phone since that's where the file is stored. If you want to put it on a computer first, using something like either your Google Drive. Best Buy is my second home. I'm there all the time. So if you want to use, put it on your computer, you go from your phone, upload it to your Google Drive, or something like Dropbox works as well. That one's pretty cheap if you need more storage. I think I pay $15 a month for it, and I have more storage than I could ever dream that I would need. So something like Classwork is going to take up probably a pretty decent size needing for work and stuff. So Google Classroom or Google Drive is probably the easiest one since that's going to integrate with your actual classrooms. But if you don't need it to integrate, just using something like Dropbox. But use those middle sources, basically upload from your phone to one of those sources, and then you can jump on your computer and it'll be in those files. That's the nice thing, or be in those folders. That's the nice thing about those two, the Drive and Dropbox, is they're compatible on multiple devices and it'll be the same files that you upload. For example, I use Dropbox. Actually, I don't know if it'll show, but I use Dropbox. From Dropbox, it will actually, if I just go to my computer's folders, if you just go to your computer's folders, like where your desktops and download and stuff is, I actually have Dropbox listed in that. So I can just upload my files there and I don't have to go to a secondary website. For mentoring at DoSpace, I am not actually a mentor. I'm one of the staff. We do have a ton of mentors online though. If they have any questions, or if you have any questions, you could always partner with one of them. If the skill set doesn't match with them, we can definitely try to get you with somebody, or at least get you some resources. You can always just email hello@dospace.org. And from there, they can get you to the right place. That'll be able to help you out a little bit. Lots of good questions. Thank you so much. Are there any more? We got a little bit of time left. You're welcome. Just keep that hello@dospace.org in mind. Like I said, we're always here. You can email any questions you have. We do also have like a basic chat set up on our website. So if you just go to our website, it'll pop up like a little chat box that it says if you have any questions. So that's a good way to get to us as well. Other than that, if that is all for today, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Google Classroom, like I said, it's actually pretty simple to use once you get the hang of it. So the easiest way to learn anything is just to kind of mess around. So before you make it live for your students, I suggest going in, playing around with it. You can play around with it with a personal email. So that's what I did with mine. I'm using one of my work emails just to kind of play around with it. But the easiest way to learn technology is honestly just to press buttons. Read resources online, watch YouTube videos. All of those are really good ways to jump up, or obviously use our mentors. They're there for you too if you have more one-on-one questions. So other than that, like I said, that's about it. Thank you again for coming. This should be uploaded on our YouTube. Give it a couple days here, and then it will be. Other than that, have a good day. Thank you so much.